How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Um, channel comments, keep your lunch. Saturday chat, comments, review, good stuff. I don't remember what that is, applesauce. I gave it a thumbs up, or somebody did. No, I just did. Justin said, and we'll go over our timeline too. There's a few dates we can get rid of, right? Is the full moon over? Are we in the new moon now? Because it's the 15th. And Trump's still alive. So if we go to where the planets are in astrology, astro.com. Again, I will not bookmark that website up here. I'm a recovering astrology holic. So yeah, you've got the new moon, and the new moon became new maybe 6 hours ago. I think that's double. Yeah, that's usually about double. It's 3, whatever those are, away degrees, 23 to 26. Sun's in 23 degrees of Scorpio. The moon is in 26 degrees of Scorpio. I think it's about double because the moon is about 2.5 day cycle. So about 6-7 hours ago, the new moon was exact with Scorpio. Mercury is also in Scorpio. Venus is in Libra. Is it getting closer? Okay, Venus moves faster, and neither one are in retrograde. And I think one of them was. So there is not going to be a Venus and Mars opposition coming up soon, which might have meant something because Lucifer is Venus and Mars is the planet of war. Mars is the planet of war. Passion, anger, war, etc. So, yeah. Libra to Aries would have been opposition. So, I guess that ship has sailed. They were already in opposition. Our Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. They're only showing 4 degrees apart. But those planets, they're not planets. I'm sorry. They're just stars. They're wandering stars. Please do not let me call them planets. They are wandering stars. There's no such thing as planets. But they move much slower. So that perfect conjunction, even though they show only 4 degrees apart, 23 to 27, it is going to take that long. See, the farther away you are, allegedly in astrology, from the sun, the slower you move. And so the moon changes signs every 2 and something days. Mercury will go through 30 degrees, maybe every 20 days, but then it'll go in retrograde. That's why it doesn't lap it. And retrograde means when you see it, it appears it's going backwards. Now, how silly is that? Like a planet's moving backwards, though it's not moving backwards. It just appears to be moving backwards. I don't understand what that means. I swear I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't know what that means, but I believed in it because that's what they told me. And so they're only 4 degrees apart right now, Jupiter and Saturn, and yet they're going to be exact about 5 weeks from now, 5.5 weeks from now, December 21st, which is 101 days from 9/11. And I showed y'all that video from the guy that's my Facebook friend, and I guess he's a subscriber of mine, and I showed y'all his video, and I'll show you another one of his videos. He and I do not agree on everything, obviously. He thinks Obama's the Antichrist. I think it's Trump, only because he's here in his own name. Jesus said, I come in my Father's name and you receive it not, but if one shall come in his own name, him you will receive. And a trump is a horn, and a horn is a trump, and the little horn of Daniel 7 is the Antichrist. And Trump is a horn. So Obama's not here in his own name, Trump is. And he does believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. I do not. I did give him my or rapture is real, or haparizo, as he says, is real. It's just post tribulation. And then, of course, that's because when I show y'all in Revelation, on my playlist, my 2-part Revelation series, really documents how 3 and 4 and 5 times throughout Revelation, you have the same thing. You have Antichrist, sealing of the church, worship in heaven, and or sealing of the church, I should say, and or removal of church, worship in heaven, God's wrath, back to Antichrist. It's like a cycle. And so Revelation is told in waves, it's told in layers. So the church is throughout, because that's what the sevens are throughout Revelation, is the refined church, God refining the church. We showed y'all how the guy dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times to cleanse his skin, cleanse his leprosy. That 7 is about the cleansing of the sheep of the church and of the earth. So let me see here. Let me pause for a second. All right, I just had to get rid of a tab I had open. I had audio message that I made, and it was still working its way in. So you do have the new moon now, and we've established that. So on a new moon, would something go down? It's still the new moon, as long as it's in Scorpio, which should be there. It's about to leave Scorpio, isn't it? 27, 28, 29, and then boom. Instead of going 30, I think it starts at 0. So it's 0 through 29 degrees. That's your 30 degrees. And anyway, yeah. See, I've forgotten more about astrology than most people will ever know, because thankfully I just haven't delved into it, nor do I want to, obviously. But I don't mind sharing with y'all, just like gematria is not anything we would use in our lives either, but we use it because they use it. So we use it to see what the enemy is doing, probably as a hobby. I don't know. Keeps our mind off things. But so if that's 3 or 4 more degrees, that means about 9 or 10 hours, it won't be a new moon anymore. It will have changed into a new sign. So the 15th won't be in play much longer either. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the 15th of the new moon. So the next big date that we would have would be Zechariah 11:17, November 17th, because it is the 11th month, even though it's also the 9th month. And The Lion Sleeps Tonight was released on November 17th in 1961. When we get to Wednesday, November 18th, that is the 59 days that the character died after winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And this year was the 88th running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And that was Christian Bale, who played Donald Trump as Batman. So in the movie Ford versus Ferrari, in real life, that character did die 59 days after winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And this year's Le Mans was the 88th running. So that's my own little deal. Probably will be absolutely nothing. But again, this is a hobby. something to keep our minds occupied. And then we have the full moon. In Gemini, because the sun will move into Scorpio somewhere around November 22nd. We'll keep an eye on it. Do I still have that site up? See, the sun in 7 days, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. For 6 more days, it'll stay in Scorpio. Let's say the 15th, about the 21st, 22nd. It's going to change into the sign of Scorpio. How many days?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia.
November
The
22nd.
sun transits this sign on average from October 23rd to November 22nd. The sun is in Scorpio from approximately November 16th to December 15th.
The sun is in Scorpio, November to December? No. That was kind of dumb. Didn't they screw up like that last time? Sun in Scorpio from November 16th to December 15th. That is Scorpio changes on November 22nd. It just got through saying the sun transits the sign on an average from October 23rd to November 22nd. True. Then it comes down here and says, oh, most commonly in Hindu astrology under the Sidereal zodiac. Okay. Well, how do you have different types of astrology? How is it real if you got different types? Just goes to show you it's all very spiritual. So anyway, to November 22nd. So that's what we counted up on my fingers just a minute ago. Then you're going to get a Sagittarian sun. Okay. What is opposite Sagittarius? Gemini. That is when you get the full moon in Gemini. It will be opposite the sun sign of Sagittarius by November 29th. That is Trump's sun sign. Remember, 9/11 occurred when the moon was in Gemini. It stayed there for what, 2.5, 3 days? That's what the moon travels. Anywhere from 2 to 3 days. It changes signs. Moon travels quickly. So you have one full moon in Gemini a year. Now, 9/11 did not take place on a full moon in Gemini. It just took place when the moon was in Gemini. This is going to be a full moon in Gemini, and it's also a penumbral lunar eclipse, the 4th of its kind this year, which it's never happened before, will never happen again, that there will be 4. So I think that's the next big day we're looking at. And of course, because in I Pet Goat, the whirling dervish goes up during the full moon. And then there is the cold full moon that goes exact here in Trump's time zone, in the Eastern time zone, at 10:28 p.m. And Tower 2 fell at 10:28 a.m. And Donnie Darko, Deca means 10, December means 10, and Donnie Darko took place on what we would call the 10th month of October, but Deca really means 10. So if I had to make an assumption, would it be the full moon in Gemini, penumbral eclipse, or would it be the Donnie Darko theory in the 1028 tower, 1028 a.m. to p.m. theory? That's tough. I'm glad we're not wagering on this. I don't wager. So I think we covered comments. One thing I wanted to show y'all, though, about my friend my Facebook friend who I was explaining that we don't agree on a lot of stuff, but I do want to show what he showed in one of his posts. Let's go to feed. His name's Joseph. That's right, it's Joseph. I was about to go through my history. I don't remember his last name, so let's go through my history. Little UFC. Didn't even listen to all of it. It was dumb. Joseph Aquavina. That's his. But it was the one he did. JFK. He was really good with it. He's really big with the gematria. And Joseph showed us JFK assassination 1122 that in gematria, JFK assassination comes to 1122. In other words, a very pre-planned event, or did they not know and just Satan knew? And so that's when Satan had it done spiritually. Then he also said at Kennedy Space Center comes to 1122. Kennedy Space Center comes to 1122. So sounds pretty pre-planned out to me. So how was the Kennedy assassination pre-planned out? Was Kennedy dying or was it a clone? Was he dying or just said, you're just going to take one for the team because we got a Trump event that's going to come on later on and people will have more believability in it if it's commonplace for presidents to get assassinated when they're trying to clean up deep state cabals, blah, 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 because Kennedy was supposed to be against everything. So if I had to guess, I would agree with Joseph that the entire Kennedy thing was pre-planned, staged, clone, or he was dying of cancer or something. And he just said, I don't want to die of that dreaded disease. Well, here's what we can do. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. It just seems pretty pre-planned out to me when I used to think it was something very organic that took place. I have a hard time believing in any type of coincidences anymore, especially anything that they do that's on a big stage. To think it's random or just a group of men doing it, I have a hard time with it. So nice work by Joseph. Anyway, thank y'all very much. Love y'all. Chat soon.